There is a whisper in the glass, a symphony of sun and soil. It's the whisper of centuries carried on the wind through ancient vines. That first sip of Bordeaux, it's not just a taste, it's an invitation. An invitation to slow down, to savor, to truly live. It speaks of rolling hills, of Grand Chateaux, and of a life where every moment is cherished. But here is the secret. You don't have to be a millionaire to retire in the world's wine capital. In 2026, while the rest of Europe is hiking taxes, France remains a hidden tax haven for American retirees. I'm Penelope from StockFocus, and today we are exploring Bordeaux and its undiscovered neighbor, Auch. We're going to look at why your Social Security is effectively protected here, how you can rent a limestone cottage for less than €900, and the exact portfolio you need to fund a life of bistro and Bordeaux.
Alors, suivez-moi.
Before we talk numbers, healthcare, or visas, you need to understand where Bordeaux sits in France and why so many people quietly fall in love with this region. Bordeaux is not just a wine city. It's a former capital of commerce, diplomacy, and ideas. For centuries, it was one of Europe's most important ports, connected to England, the Americas, and the rest of the continent, long before Paris became the center of everything. That legacy shows up today in its architecture, its layout, and its mindset. This is a city that thinks internationally, but lives locally. Step outside Bordeaux, and you enter the broader Southwest, a region defined less by speed and more by balance. Rolling vineyards, river towns, markets that still matter, and meals that stretch longer than the afternoon. This is a place where quality of life isn't a slogan. It's an assumption. And then there's places like Auch in Gascony, smaller, older, quieter. A cathedral city built on a hill, surrounded by farmland and vineyards. This is the heart of rural France, where traditions didn't disappear, they just never needed to change. Life here is slower, yes, but also deeply rooted. Food is seasonal. Communities are real. Healthcare, schools, and daily services are designed for people who expect to stay, not pass through. Let's break down exact living costs, what healthcare actually looks like, and the income or portfolio level you realistically need to live comfortably. Not hypotheticals. Real numbers. Once you understand the culture, the numbers start to make sense. And for many people, they're better than expected. Let's look at the actual costs of living the French dream in 2026. While Bordeaux is a premium city, the value here is incredible compared to other Western European hubs. We've discussed the charm of these historic buildings, but what's the monthly damage? A modern one-bedroom in the heart of Bordeaux typically ranges from €900 to €1,600 per month. If you prefer the quiet stone cottages of Auch and Gascony, that same budget drops to between €600 and €850. Food is a religion here, but it doesn't have to be expensive. Expect to spend €350 to €500 per month on high-quality groceries from local markets like the
Marché des Capucins.
Dining out is where the lifestyle really shines. A plat du jour lunch in a local bistro is about €18, while a frequent social life of dinners and wine will typically total €300 to €450 per month. As of 2026, France has introduced a mandatory minimum healthcare contribution for non-EU retirees on visitor visas. Plan for a public contribution of roughly €150 per month. You'll also want a private top-up or Mutuelle, which ranges from €50 to €100 to ensure nearly zero out-of-pocket costs at the pharmacy and specialists. Your basic utilities, electricity, water, and heating, average €180 to €250 depending on the season. For your digital life, France is a bargain. High-speed fiber internet and a mobile plan with over 100 GB of data usually total just €40 to €60 per month. In Bordeaux, you won't need a car. The tram system is world-class. A monthly pass is about €45, but for those over 60, senior discounts bring that down to just €28. All in, a comfortable, middle-class retirement in the Bordeaux region generally ranges from €2,015 to €3,155 per month. Let's walk through a real-world scenario. You wake up in your Bordeaux apartment feeling unwell. In 2026, you don't panic. The first step, you log into Doctolib, the national healthcare app. You can book a primary care doctor, often for the very same afternoon. A standard visit costs €30. If it's 2 a.m., you call SOS Medicines, and a doctor can actually come to your home for around €70. Escalating the care. If the doctor suspects something more serious and orders an MRI, you'll likely head to a clinic like St. Augustin, The official cost is around 150 to 200 euros, but if you are in the public system, the state covers about 70% of that. The Mutuelle covers the rest. Your out-of-pocket cost? Usually 0 euros. The hospitalization scenario. Now what if it escalates to surgery or a multi-day stay? In Bordeaux's world-class hospitals, the quality of care is identical whether you go public or private. For a 3-day stay and a standard surgery, the public path, the state covers 80 to 100%. You might pay a daily fee of 20 euros for your bed and meals. The private path, you might pay extra fees for a private room or a specific surgeon, but your Mutuelle is designed to wipe those out. You leave with a digital prescription. At the pharmacy, you just hand over your carte vitale. Most essential medications are subsidized by 65 to 100%. A bag of recovery meds might cost you less than 5 euros total. In France, healthcare isn't a financial catastrophe, it's a service. Between the public PUMA system and a 50 euro a month top-up, you are looking at a system where the most expensive thing about your surgery might be the taxi ride home. Bordeaux mornings don't start with a rush. They start with a trip to the local boulangerie, and here you don't ask for a pain au chocolat, you ask for a chocolatine. It's the local pride, and at 8 a.m. it's usually still warm from the oven. Your morning is spent as a flaneur, the French art of wandering without a destination. You walk the Quai de Bordeaux where the Garonne River curves in that iconic moon shape. Even in late January, the Indian summer sun makes the limestone buildings glow. You might stop at
The Marché des Capucins.
to grab a dozen oysters from the Arcachon Bay for just 12 euros, a lunch that would cost 5 times that in Manhattan. By afternoon, you're hopping on the tram, completely free if you're a resident over 65, to the Jardin Public. It's where the city's heart beats. You'll see retirees playing pétanque and students reading in the grass. As the sun dips, you head to a wine bar in Saint-Pierre. You order a glass of Saint-Emilion for 6 euros and watch the water mirror reflect the lit-up facades of the Place de la Bourse. There is a quiet, civilized hum to this city. People aren't rushing to the next meeting, they are debating the next meal. In Bordeaux, you aren't just passing time, you are finally using it. Want to estimate whether Bordeaux fits your retirement budget? Visit StockFocus.com to use our free retirement calculator and interactive city cost map, personalized for your income, savings, and lifestyle goals. To live a comfortable life in Bordeaux on a budget of 3,200 euros per month, which is about 3,800 US dollars, how much do you actually need in the bank? If you follow the classic 4% rule, you would need a total investment portfolio of 960,000 euros, or roughly 1,125,000 US dollars. This strategy is designed to let you withdraw that 37,000 euros annually while keeping your principal intact for 30 years or more. But here is where the math gets exciting for the average retiree. You likely aren't relying on your portfolio alone. If you have a social security check or a pension bringing in 1,500 euros a month, your funding gap drops in almost half. To cover that remaining 1,500 euros using the 4% rule, you only need a portfolio of 450,000 euros, which is about 540,000 US dollars. However, you would also need to consider the income tax depending on how the income is received, and for that, I would recommend talking with a tax professional. By layering your guaranteed income with a modest dividend or index fund portfolio, the dream of retiring is accessible to a much wider range of people. You don't need to be a millionaire to live like one in Bordeaux. You just need to understand how to bridge the gap.
Most American retirees move to France using the long-stay visitor visa.
Le visa de long séjour.
Requirements typically include proof of stable passive income, long-term housing arrangement, comprehensive health insurance, sufficient savings. Income expectations vary by consulate but often fall around 20 to 25,000 euros per year for a single applicant, more for couples. France taxes residents on worldwide income if you stay more than 183 days per year. There is a US-France tax treaty to avoid double taxation, but French tax structures differ significantly. Professional tax advice is strongly recommended. Bordeaux does not simply promise a lifestyle, it offers a refinement of the soul. For the retiree who seeks the golden light of an Atlantic autumn, a healthcare system that treats dignity as a right, and a city where the history is as rich as the wine, Bordeaux stands as France's most sophisticated masterpiece in 2026. This is not just a city that feels human in scale, it is a city that reminds you what it means to be human. I'm Penelope from StockFocus.com. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and tell us which city you'd like us to explore next.
À bientôt. Oh.